legitimately is the leader of the Israelites who lead Moses' people from the desert into the promised land. And so when that happens, right, an order goes out to Joshua. And the order is to leave nobody alive whatsoever in the Battle of Ai. So in the Battle of Ai, when they take over the promised land practically, God's instructions to Joshua and the Israelites was to realistically leave nobody alive. Now, the reason I bring this up is because in America, there's a couple of philosophies, right? We'll start with this idea of like a white genocide in America. Then in addition to that, inside of some of this, all black America or, minorities taking over America kind of concept. But I think it's more, that's just my opinion, right? Now, the point of me bringing that up, right, is that some people would use the scripture to define the future in a sense like that. To define the future of America is similar to a Battle of Ai, as to where these racist white people believe that black people are eventually going to rise up and kill all the white people in America, right? Now, here's the thing, right? That's a possibility. I'm not debunking it as impossible. If there's a time in America and in the coming years that could ever be more possible, we're living in those times now. It's a very real possibility, right? However, what you have to kind of consider when you look at these things is that black people can't do that alone, for one. And two, I'm not saying they need a white person to help them, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is that the minorities of America, if they were to band together, to work together, and rid themselves of this all-black philosophy of black people ruling America, then there's a really good chance at that point to realistically fear something like that. I'm not afraid because I believe in justice and righteousness. And when you look at white people in America, the realistic truth is that we haven't spent the last 100 years, and this is where black and white America comes into the equation here. We haven't spent the last 100 years since Lincoln got shot in the back of the head, and then eventually Robert F. Kennedy, JFK. There's a long list of people who've legitimately died trying to usher in a time of communications between black and white people. And it's been like that for years, since the 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, and I think it's the 14th or the 13th Amendment. And so it's one of those things to where it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if God is going to be like, yes, this is exactly what's going to happen, right? However, I think that the way that I interpret that scripture, I jump back and forth on that one. Sometimes I think it's realistically, that's a possibility. And I'm not, I'll be on the right side. If God legitimately comes to me in a dream and he's like, it is true, Andrew, all you white people are going to die in America in this, revolution that someone like Donald Trump is cooking up and kind of inciting in America. Well, then by all means, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, Lord, so be it. I'm not gonna become angry and go and try to kill a bunch of black people to prevent that from happening. Why would I do that for? That's the worst thing to do, because then you're going against your relationship with God. And I'm a man of faith, and so I would rather die having a relationship with God than to die, ruining my relationship with God.